So good morning. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have been discussing CSS and the various properties and various ways to figure out how to put your content on a web page. One of the fundamental property which decides the layout of or the positioning of your element is display. Now there are different types of display actually, and this display property defines that what will be the layout or what will be the default layout of any tag, any HTML tag. There are different types of display, and these types are many. But most of the time, we require to understand this inline block and inline block. So these are the three display type which are mostly used. Let us understand what it is. See, whenever you write any tag, for example, P, if you are writing, let me show you. Let's say you are writing this H1 tag. So now if you see the file, if you see the H1 tag, the entire width is been occupied. The reason for that is the default display type of H1 is block. Now if I change this display type, see this. So if I change the display type over here, you can see now this H1 occupies the only the content which it contains. So this is why this display property is important. If you see, this is H1, this is H2, and the property is display inline. If you see the by default property, the default property of display is block. Block means it covers the 100% width available. Similarly, by default, the display property is uh, block only. Similarly, for every, let's say for A tag, if you see this A, then there will be some display property. So if I write default property of A tag or default display property of A is inline only. But the reason why we are getting this entire thing together is this table, because the default property of table is table. So if I change this and if I remove just this content, then you will be more clear. That let's say I'm writing okay, right. So now if you see the default, we have not mentioned anything with A. We have not mentioned anything with A, right? It's a default one. So what is the default property of A? Display is inline. So now if I change to block, sorry. So now if I change the property of this A tag to block, now you see the entire width is occupied. So the display property decides the how element will be occupying the width or the content area. So there are some defaults. For example, A tag, then span tag, then bold, B tag, I tag. These are the tags which has a display property as inline by default. Then there are some tags which has by default it has a property as display block like H1, all the headers H1 to H6. Then you have a div tag, the display property is block. So if you don't mention any width over here, then it will take the entire width. If you see this border, it will take the entire width available unless and until you specify width because the default property is block. So this is display inline, display block, and there is something called display inline block. Now what is that? So let's say instead of this, I'm writing display inline block and font size, right? So now my this link has property as display inline block. The only difference is that with inline block, you can specify the width as well. Right. So now what will happen? You require that this uh, tag or this element should be there inline only, but it has some kind of a width, a fixed width or a minimum width associated. Then you have to use display inline block property because you can't use block in that case because it will occupy the entire space, even though the width is 200 pixel, but because your property is display inline block, the positioning will contain the entire screen space which is available. So these are the major three property, and then came the flex box. So we'll discuss flex box at some other time, but that also comes under this category only. But by default, the CSS 3 has these are the various property. If you see, then you have block, contents, flex we will discuss later, grid also later, then inline block, inline, these are the related to flags and blocks, and then you have something related to the table. So let's say you want to create a table using div. So it's like if you have understood you know the table syntax, then this is your table, right? You have table, then tr and then td. So this is by default, right? Then you have t body, t etc. There are many, but let's say we want to create a simple table using div. So I require one div for containing a table, then I will have some kind of a row, and then within that row I want some columns. So I will say column. So and then there are multiple rows. Okay, so this is header 1. So let's say this is my table structure. Now if I want to create it using a div tag, right? Obviously, if you write simple div, then all are block element. So that means even though you have written in this way, but everything will be inside a block. So what you want is a kind of a table structure. So for that, what you can do is you will say this is my display table. Then you have a row element or a row level block. So you will say display table row, and then you have column level table. So you will say display table column. But still you are not getting it because you have applied it on a single node. So basically what we read is we want to apply it on. So now I will create a class. Display is a table. Then display table row, and then display table cell, I think. See this. So now your entire div based elements are converted to the table like structure. So this is how you can use a various display property for deciding what will be the layout or how they will be positioned across the screen. So there are number of properties which are related to the various options available in table. So like if you want to give something as a caption, so let's say we have some caption to this table. So that will add that caption to that table. Obviously, even though you can see this, even though you have written that caption at the bottom, so ideally this entire thing should come after all the rows are over. But because it is the property is having caption, and the default property of caption is to put that caption before the table, so that's why you will get it at the beginning. So this is about display. Display decides how the elements will be rendered in reference to the screen, in reference to the other elements. Next point of discussion is floating and positioning. Mostly all the elements, when you start writing something, all the elements are rendered in this order only. So it will start from the top left corner and it goes towards the right. Or sorry, it starts with the top left column. If it's an inline element, then it goes in the right direction, and again it goes in this direction. So this is the default flow of content when you decide or when you render anything by default. Sometimes you want to change this. So for example, this is my table, right? Okay, let's add some default width, or say max width. So we are adding max width, and we are also adding border to just get the right? So this is my table. Now, if you see, it is by default rendered, or follow is by default in the right direction. So if you want to change that, then you have to use this property called float. So that will decide where your element will be rendered. Remember, when you use something like float, and remember there is a community in this world uh, which are actually have an habit of reading from right to left, and this is basically designed from that perspective. However, there are other usage as well, but this float right, so everything which is being mentioned as float right, it will be removed from this default rendering. So if you see, this is my table, right? And then you have this h1. But because the table is having float property at right, you can see h1 is overlapping actually, uh, or h1 is placed before or in line with table, and that is because anything which is float right, it will be removed from the regular flow of content. So in that case, now you have to, sometimes what happens, instead of let's say h1, instead of h1 you have some image over here. So now see this. By the way, this is the 100%. Okay. So let's just remove this default font size. That will be more clear. So this is 100%. So now you can see that this title is there, image is also there, but now your table is actually outside the actual flow of content. There is no, even wherever you write, like if you write table over here or anywhere you will write it, anyway you write it, but it will not actually come into the regular flow of content when you have the float property as right. So this is how you control the exceptions. The regular flow is from top to bottom and left to right, but when you want to have an exception in that, then you can use the float property. So there are mainly four values of float: left, right, none, and inherit. Left will specifically put in left, even though by default is left only, but still the by default property of float is none. So when you write something as float as left, then again it has its own consequences. Let's see. So let's say I'm adding one class as float left. See this. What it has done, because I have mentioned float left, then again I told you that it will be removed from the regular flow. So it will take the compute the size whatever, and remember that when you write something as float, and if you don't mention any width, then by default the width will be set to the content only. So whatever will be the width of the content, that will be your width. Otherwise you have to explicitly mention that you require this width. Even though the div tag, its display property is block, so width has to be 100%, but because you have mentioned it as a float, then its behavior will change. So then if you require 100% width, then you have to mention explicitly what width you require. Otherwise it will simply occupy the current width. Next block will be rendered because it is float wrapped, so it float right, so it goes into the right way, and then you have the regular block. See this is your regular block. Okay, so you have to just understand the behavior. Okay, and because then you will be able to use it properly. So float left means something which is there in a flow will be removed from the regular flow, and it will be move in the left direction. Right means it will move in the right direction, and it will be removed from the regular or current flow of display. Sometimes you require to clear these floated elements. So you can use this property as clear. So that will clear the left or right or both uh, floats. So that we will see with example. The next is, I think I will discuss one example for discussing all this. These all are layout related tags. So how you position everything. So let's say if I want to create this kind of a layout, let's say this is my presentation. So there is one kind, something kind, this box here, then there is a left panel, then there is something like a navigation over here, then there is some title and then content. So if I want to create this kind of a layout, then these tags or these elements or these properties are important: the display, float, and position. So let's see what is position. Position means that it will actually decide the the exact position of that element on a screen. So let me give you an example. Normally, generally what we have is some kind of a header bar. So let's say I'm creating one class which has name as header, then it has some title. So this is the title of my web page. Okay. And then we'll write something like, for example, dot header is background color, and color is this. So now if you see, sometimes you require your body should fit with your content. So body, right. So this is my header. Now let's add some heading. Okay. So I added some padding. Now normally our requirement is that this header should remain on the top only, right? So that is that kind of a requirement normally we had. So let us first add something. removing this float so that you can understand what exactly we are doing. So, and then say we have this content, some content here, then you have some other content, then again something. So let's say we have this kind of a content. So now if you see, the default positioning of this is a static. Static means a regular. So if I select this element, header, if I write position static. So this is my default position. Static means that your content will move with the scroll bar. Now there is another position which is called relative. Again, if you change it to relative, you will not feel much difference. But when we write something as a relative, actually whatever margin or something you are adding, that will be the relative to its initial point. So if this is my initial point, if this point is my initial point, and then if I'm writing margin left, so that will be relative to its initial point. So with reference to that point only. So, but normally you will not feel any difference between static and relative. However, technically there is a difference. So this is position as relative. Sometimes you require some element uh, fixed. Okay, so now what it has done, we want 100% width and position as fixed. Now what it will does, it will actually fix your header always at the top. Now you can always change it. So when you apply position as fixed, then you can also give such properties like let's say I'm writing top as 100 pixel. Okay, I can also write something like this. So write as 50 pixel. Now if I change this write as 50 pixel and if the width is 100%, then you can see your content is gone beyond your control. So what you can do normally, when you have this kind of a stuff, normally we don't require this, but when you have this kind of a stuff, then you require something else for managing that. So width is removed. Normally we require some kind of a tile over here tag, so you can also give bottom. So instead of bottom, instead of top, I will give bottom, right? So what it will do, it will put this particular content at right 50 pixels. So this is 50 pixel and this is 100 pixels. So if I change it to 50, 25, and this is also 25. So now it will look like a notification. So it will always stays there, right? Even though you are scrolling it, so it always stays there. So this is how normally position fixed can be used. That will actually fix your content at a position which you have mentioned. So mostly when you are deciding or when you are giving something as position, you should always give either a right, bottom, top, and left. At least you should have uh, two of them, because that will clearly identify what you requires. Now you can use it in different ways like this. Sometimes you want some kind of a navigation bar in the right direction, and it should be always there irrespective of your status. So this kind of a stuff you can implement using positioning. So this is a third type of position which is fixed. Another is So let me remove this. Another is sticky. Now, what is this sticky means? It means that sometimes what you require is your content is there on the landing page, but when you scroll down, so this is my default behavior, right? So when you scroll down, then you want that this particular header should be stayed over here. It should not go beyond it. So for that, you can use a position as sticky. Right? Obviously, you have to give this top parameter when you want to attach something. So now if you, even though you scroll it, so see this, you are scrolling actually, but the header will stuck at the top 10 pixel. So this is how you can use position as sticky. And then there is a last one, which is called an absolute positioning. Now, in order to understand this, uh, okay, so let's say we have this image and then we have some caption for that image. So okay, let's say span. Now if you see this, uh, right, where you are getting this image caption just after your image finishes, and then you are getting this caption. Sometimes you require that your this element, means this element's position is relative to some another element position. Then what you can do, you can give let's say I'm refining image one class as image container. So I'm writing that image container class. I'm saying its position is relative. And then I have another class image caption, in which I want that it should be uh, or its position should be relative to the its parent element. So then I can say position absolute. Now if you see, okay, so this is my image container. The position is relative and it has a two element. First is image and second is span. Now what you want is not span here but somewhere here, right? So for that, I think your image should be image container. Okay. Now what I want is this particular element should be placed and then so I think we were correct actually when we have done this. So this is not an image container. It's parent. This is not parent, it's a sibling. So parent should be relative, and then we can mention a relative positioning, let's say 100 pixel and 100 pixel. Background color is black and color is white, right? So now you can see that this tag, that means image caption, is having this position with related to the its parent. But if you don't mention this as position relative, then it will go to the other absolute element or other parent element which has an position as relative and which is by default your body. So again it goes into that parent of parent. यहाँ से यहाँ पे जाएगा. अगर ये relative नहीं है, then it goes into the parent of that, so which is a body. So then your position of this element will be with related to this body. Now why this is or how this is going to help you? A great example of that is creating a menu. So let us say we want to create uh, two level menus. So we have level 1 okay. Let us add some class. So menu container and this is menu. Normally menu is placed inside the navigator tag, so let us put inside that only. So control C, control V. Okay. Right. Obviously you don't want this kind of a bullet, so now you can change that ul dot menu container list style is none. Then li dot menu. Let's say you want to add some margin. Sorry, margin is not required, but let's say you want to add some padding. So padding 5 pixel and background color. Wait. Right. Now again, the default display property of li is block. So that's why you can see this entire thing is occupied. So what you require now is max width. Why max width? Because I think you require mean width as well. Fine, no, you don't require it. So max width is 300. That means it will not go beyond 300. So if your content, if your text is, let's say keep it as 200. So if your text is beyond that, then it will go into the new line. Right. So now you see it goes into the new line. So fine. So this is a default thing, right? Normally we require this kind of a stuff. But then we have a two level menu. So that means in level 1 you have another level as well. I'll say let us in this case level 3. So instead of this, here you have level 3, but then you have another menu. Which has so if you see this, then it creates something like this, and which is you don't require this. What you require is this should be placed at somewhere here, right? So let us change it now. So ul dot submenu position will be absolute. You don't want list style, and every li under this you want some kind of a style sheet. So now your max width is 150 pixel, padding is fine, okay, and then you require some another color so that we can just differentiate too. Okay. So now you can see this, because your positioning is absolute, your this menu is in absolute positioning at this with reference to its container. Where is its container? Its container is this tag. Now again, you don't want to do something like this, so you will add some class submenu container. So then you have a li dot submenu container. And its positioning is relative. And because you know that the okay, so now you can see this, because the positioning is absolute, you have to give width also. So here I will give width as well, so that even though max width was there for li, but your container was not having a positioning proper, then top 0. So now if you see, let's put some border so that you can get an idea where actually it is rendering. Okay, so now you can see this is your level 1, and which is also containing a submenu, and you want that your submenu should come somewhere over here. So because your positioning is relative and because you have mentioned uh, an absolute positioning submenu container inside it, see this is relative, and then you have submenu which is positioning as absolute, so it has some left. If you don't mention it, that goes here. You know the width of this, so you know that is 200 pixel. Obviously, why it is still having this? Because it has some padding. So that padding will be discarded. So actually, if you consider that padding, you count this, padding is 5 pixel. So here, if you put it at 210, you will get the exact position where you required it. So this is how positioning can be useful. It is very important properties when it comes to the creating a layouts in using CSS. We will discuss more on that with some another means, and but this is all about positioning, display, position, and float. These are the three properties which can control or which can provide a layout to your web page. There are few others as well. Flexbox is just introduced, and then you have grid, which is also uh, very useful for creating layout. So that's it for today. See you in the next class. Anything which you want to ask?